Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Career Chat. I am your host, Shannon Crooks, and I am joined with Giovanna Sandoval. She is going to be our translator today. We have a bilingual career chat for you. I am a librarian 3 at the Hillcrest Heights branch of the Prince George's County Memorial Library System. And Giovanna, you can introduce yourself and which branch you're from.
I am from the Beltsville branch.
Thank you,
And buenas y bienvenidos a Career Chat en bilingüe. Soy su anfitriona virtual, Giovanna Sandoval, y trabajo en la biblioteca de Beltsville en el sistema de bibliotecas del condado de Prince George's, y estoy aquí con Shannon para hacer una entrevista con Jessica Quincosa, que es una abogada de interés público.
Thank you. And so Jessica Quincosa is an attorney with Community Legal Services of Prince George's County. She's also the director of the organization, and she's going to tell us about her career today.
Sure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. And so first question, Jessica, is what are your job duties and responsibilities?
So some of my job duties as the executive director are to ensure that the organization is providing quality legal services to the low-income residents of Prince George's County. We've expanded our programs since I became executive director about 3.5 years ago. Some of the programs that we assist with are landlord-tenant, foreclosure, family law, domestic violence cases. So my job is to make sure we have good legal programs, but also to make sure we have funding to be able to assist folks with our services.
¿Qué es una abogada de interés público y cuáles son sus deberes y responsabilidades?
Una abogada de interés público es alguien que trata de asistir a las personas de bajos recursos. Trabajamos usualmente por organizaciones que son para personas de bajos recursos. No cobramos para nuestros servicios. Los programas se pagan por el gobierno federal o estatal y por diferentes organizaciones que dan dinero para poder tener los programas. Algunos de los tipos de casos que asistimos son por violencia doméstica, de inquilino de arrendador. Ahora, como soy directora ejecutiva, usualmente yo no tomo casos, pero sí anteriormente yo era la abogada supervisora del Centro de Autoayuda en las Cortes de Maryland.
Thank you, Jessica. So the next question is, how long have you been working in this particular industry?
So I've been an attorney for 17 years prior to coming to become the executive director for community legal services. I was a supervising attorney and a staff attorney at Maryland Legal Aid. And prior to that, I was in private practice.
¿Cuánto has trabajado en esta industria?
Por más o menos 17 años. Anteriormente yo trabajaba, antes de ser directora ejecutiva, era la abogada supervisora y abogada en el Legal Aid de Maryland, y después anteriormente era una abogada en bufetes privados.
So what was your educational path from high school to where you are now?
So after I graduated from high school, I went to the University of Maryland and I studied psychology, and I minored in English. I realized quickly I didn't like statistics. So in order to become a psychologist, that wasn't going to work out. And I had always wanted to be a lawyer anyways. So I went to law school and then I graduated from law school, and I tried private practice for a few years and then realized what I had always wanted to do, which was become a public interest attorney. I was able to have an opportunity to join Maryland Legal Aid, and I've been doing that since.
¿Cuáles fueron los pasos educativos que tomaste desde la escuela secundaria hasta hoy en día?
Después que me gradué de high school, empecé en la Universidad de Miami, donde estudié psicología, y después fui a estudiar legal, y después empecé diferentes con bufetes privados, y después, como había pensado que quería ser abogada de interés público, tuve la oportunidad y desde entonces lo he seguido.
So how did you get interested in your profession?
I remember being younger and really wanting to be a lawyer. I didn't know any lawyers, and I'm actually first generation, and I'm of my family who immigrated to the United States, and I'm actually a first generation college student. So I'd seen lawyers, and I thought it would be something that I would be really interested in doing. And while I was in law school, I took quite a few clinics, which are the opportunity to work in an externship and learn from different organizations and assist with different legal services providers. And that's really when I realized that's really what I wanted to do moving forward.
¿Cómo te interesaste en la profesión de abogada?
Cuando era pequeña, siempre quería ser abogada. No conocía a ningunos abogados. Mis padres emigraron acá a los Estados Unidos y yo fui la primera que nací acá. Después que terminé el colegio, decidí continuar con los estudios para poder ser abogada y aprender más sobre las leyes de este país.
So Jessica, how much time did you spend investing into getting to where you are now?
Quite a few years. So between undergrad, which is usually 4 years, I graduated in 3 because I'd gone to a special high school in Florida where we were taking college enrollment while we were in high school. Then 3 years of law school, and then to this point, 17 years.
Wow. Wow, that's a long time.
I know.
¿Cuánto tiempo has invertido para llegar donde estás hoy?
Bueno, cuando fui al colegio secundario, yo estaba en un programa donde tomábamos clases de colegio, de college, cuando estábamos en high school. So pude terminar el bachillerato en 3 años y después colegio de leyes en 3, so después 17 años. Y estamos aquí ahora.
So what kind of obstacles did you face in the pursuit of your profession?
I think one of the big obstacles was I moved from a different location. So I grew up in Miami and then I moved a couple of places, and not having the opportunity to network and not knowing anyone. I think one of the challenges is also being not aware of how to network and or having those connections that some other folks may have had in the past. And really knowing an attorney when I was younger to know how to actually navigate something that's a little bit different than what I was accustomed to is one of the challenges.
¿Qué tipo de barreras ha tenido que enfrentar en el camino hacia tu profesión?
Yo creo que teniendo padres que vinieron y emigraron a los Estados Unidos y no estaban involucrados en diferentes organizaciones y teniendo las amistades que algunas personas sí tienen y los padres tienen, se ha demorado más tiempo para yo poder hacer esas conexiones. Sería una de las cosas que sería más difícil.
So what advice do you have for someone wanting to do what you do?
I would say try to find a mentor. Find an attorney that's willing to mentor you, especially if you don't know anyone. Try to find somebody that's doing something that you think you would be interested in. It's okay to have a mentor and say, you know what, after being around you for a little bit, I realize this is not what I want to do. I think that's okay too, because it limits you making those mistakes. If you already know I don't like math, so that wouldn't be something that I'd want to do. But having a mentor that was, pretty involved with math would make me realize why I didn't like it. But there's other types of law that you might be interested in, and after learning more about it, it may just not be something that you like. And I think that's a good opportunity to use that to learn as you're going through the process, and having somebody that can explain to you, this is how law school works, and this is what happens after, you graduate, how to study for the bar is a really good opportunity for someone trying to start figuring out what they want to do.
¿Qué consejo le dirías a alguien que quiere hacer lo que haces?
Buscar a alguien que te pueda asesorar al proceso, no solamente del colegio, pero también cómo tratar de comunicarse y hacer las conexiones con otras personas, también tratar de ver cuáles son las cosas que no te gustan. Como dije antes, a mí no me gusta la matemática, yo sé que eso es algo que yo no quisiera hacer, pero teniendo a alguien que me pueda asesorar, ese es un tipo de ley que quizás te gustaría, quizás no, y tratar para no tener que perder tiempo durante el proceso de estar aprendiendo.
So Jessica, where have you worked within the industry?
So I worked in private practice. I worked at a firm in DC for a while. Then I worked at Maryland Legal Aid, and then now I worked at CLS.
¿Dónde has trabajado como abogada?
Trabajé en un bufete privado en DC, después fui a Maryland Legal Aid y después de eso a servicios comunitarios de Prince George's County.
So Jessica, can you compare and contrast the different jobs you've had?
So I think a little bit. So being in private practice is a little different than being a public interest attorney. When I worked in DC, I had corporate clients, and that was a little bit different because I wasn't in my mind helping somebody. So now I have the opportunity to actually help clients, not necessarily interact with clients anymore because I'm usually working on other things, but I know our staff gets to interact with clients on a daily basis and make a big difference for each individual. So I think that's something that's really interesting about being a public interest attorney. Like we've had, especially right now during COVID, our staff has been able to assist tenants in their landlord-tenant cases and really help either stay in eviction, which means to postpone it, or to stop an eviction, which is a really great thing that we're able to do.
Mm-hmm.
¿Puedes comparar y contrastar los diferentes trabajos que has tenido?
Sí, trabajando en un bufete privado ayudaba a los clientes que son corporaciones. Yo no pensaba que estaba ayudando a las personas individuales. Como una abogada pública, hemos ayudado en nuestra organización. Nuestros abogados ayudan a las personas con desalojos, especialmente ahora con COVID. Hemos tenido la oportunidad de asistir a las personas para no ser desalojado, y también con diferentes tipos de ayudas civiles como familiar, ayudar a personas que han sufrido por violencia doméstica con una orden de protección. Es algo bien interesante, especialmente para mí, para poder ayudar a las otras personas.
How has your field changed since the face of COVID?
So pre-COVID, as the executive director and as legal services provider, we met with clients in person, and we had in-person clinics pretty frequently. As you can imagine, all of our clinics were canceled. And we've had to adjust to hearings, to remote hearings. We've had to adjust to help our volunteer attorneys and our staff follow the court orders. So they keep moving in phases. And we were, as of a week and a half ago, in phase 5, where everything was, pretty much back to normal. And now we're back to phase 3, where we're back to more limited hearings. And what does that mean for our clients? What does that mean for our staff as far as going through? So it's constantly ever evolving what we need to do.
¿Cómo ha cambiado su profesión durante la pandemia de COVID-19?
So mi profesión específicamente, anteriormente, nos reunimos con los clientes en persona, tuvimos clínicas en persona. Ahora todo es virtual, y también tratar de estar al día con lo que está sucediendo en las cortes, cómo es que estamos ayudando a nuestros clientes para estar preparados con todo lo que sigue cambiando. Es algo constantemente de que estamos hasta el día tratando de ver cómo las cosas siguen cambiando.
So Jessica, how can young people who are still in school find volunteer opportunities to get started in your field?
So we work with the Circuit Court of Prince George's County. They have a program called Law Links through the different high schools in Prince George's County. We actually have a Law Links that started around the same time I did, which was about 3.5 years ago, who's still one of the members of our staff. He helps us with our social media and that sort of thing. It's something that he's really interested in. He's graduated and he's now in college. We've had a few volunteers throughout the years. Clearly now with COVID, everything's slightly different, but that's an opportunity. You wouldn't only have the opportunity to work at a legal services providers through Law Links. They have private practitioners. It's a really good way to get us an entry into the legal field if that's something that you're interested in learning more about.
¿Y cómo pueden los jóvenes encontrar oportunidades, voluntariados para empezar teniendo experiencias en su tipo de carrera?
So, la Corte Circuita de Prince George's County tiene un programa que se llama Law Links. Es por los diferentes colegios en el condado y es la oportunidad para las personas, para los muchachos en el colegio poder ir a diferentes programas. Pueden venir. Tenemos un muchacho que empezó a trabajar con nosotros hace como 3 años por este Law Links y él todavía trabaja por nosotros. Hemos tenido diferentes muchachas y muchachos que han venido a trabajar con nosotros durante los, creo que son 15, 20 años de este programa.
So this question is not on the list, but how does a young person sign up for Law Links?
My understanding is it's through the circuit court, but it's also the different college counselors at the high schools know about the information. And I can provide you with more information. I can follow up with our former Law Links. The applications, my understanding, are at the high schools and they can apply, and then that's how they get selected and approved.
Okay. Okay, then
Como un joven, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I mean, maybe I should ask the same question in Spanish.
Okay.
Y cómo los jóvenes pueden tener acceso a ese programa que se llama Law Links.
Como entiendo es que la aplicación, el consejero en el colegio lo tiene y pueden hacer la aplicación, pueden averiguar la información por el internet y cualquier cosa, ustedes me pueden llamar y yo puedo confirmar con el muchacho que participó en el programa para confirmar.
Okay.
Thank you for that information.
No
I'm
problem.
sure the young people would want to sign up for that. Very interesting.
Definitely.
Mhm. So the next question is, what are key skills that young people should think about acquiring that apply to all career fields?
I think listening, learning how to listen and accepting that you're not going to know everything and that's okay, is really important. I think learning from others are really important skills, and knowing when to ask a question when you're not sure. It's easier to fix something at the beginning than to try to fix it after you've done it incorrectly.
¿Y cuáles habilidades crees que los jóvenes deben de adquirir para trabajar en cualquier carrera?
Yo creo que aprender a escuchar, aprender a ver lo que están haciendo las otras personas y pedir asistencia cuando no saben lo que tienen que hacer no es nada malo que usted no sabe lo que tienes que hacer. Es una oportunidad para poder aprender.
So Jessica, what are some resources or recommendations you have for people who want to pursue your career field?
There are different programs. In addition to Law Links, there's a different programs for different minority students. There's a program called CLEO to learn more about law school. Do some research. If you're not sure and you don't have somebody that you can easily ask, go and ask your school counselor. There's different programs that are there to help students that really want to be attorneys that need additional opportunities to, become an intern or that sort of thing.
¿Cuáles recursos o recomendaciones tienes para las personas que quieren ser abogados o abogadas?
Hablar con los consejeros del colegio, a ver si hay oportunidades y diferentes programas para los muchachos que necesitan asistencia adicional, para las personas que no tienen las mismas oportunidades y no conocen a un abogado que los pueda asistir. Buscar a ver en el internet si hay diferentes programas que quizás calificarían, sería una buena idea.
So Jessica, what comments do you have about the industry that people just entering it may want to know?
I think just researching, trying to figure out what, if there's a niche that you can fill, and trying to make connections, I think is really important. One of the things about being an attorney, sometimes joining a bar association is really helpful. So you can meet other newer attorneys just like you and share some of the things that have worked or haven't worked for each other. And also be on time and, be ready to work is really important.
¿Qué comentarios tienes sobre la industria que una persona que acaba de entrar quisiera saber?
Buscar a personas que son del mismo nivel que acaban de empezar y personas que tienen más experiencia para poder preguntarle diferentes preguntas. Abogados a veces tienen asociación profesionales que puedes tratar de conocer a otras personas, y una cosa es llegar a tiempo y llegar preparado para trabajar.
So Jessica, do you enjoy what you do now?
I do. It's very stressful currently during COVID because it's constantly changing, and knowing that we're trying to do the best for our clients. There's always that, just generally with public service and public interest, there's always that concern about funding. And right now, since everything is so up in the air, we don't really know what's going to happen with funding for next year, but I do really enjoy what I do. It's really a great thing to be able to help others. And I know that our staff does a really good job and goes above and beyond to try to do the best they can for all of our clients. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoy it.
¿Y disfruta lo que haces ahora?
Sí, me encanta lo que estoy haciendo. Como dije antes, por el COVID está un poco más difícil, tratar de ver dónde vamos a recibir donaciones y cómo vamos a ayudar a nuestros clientes que están sufriendo por todo lo que ha venido con COVID, y tratar de ayudar a los clientes también, estar seguro que las personas que trabajan por mí están bien cuidadas y no tienen ninguna dificultades durante este tiempo también.
So when you first started your training and education, is being an attorney where you think you would be, or did you think you would be doing something different?
I wanted to be an attorney. I just didn't think I would be an executive director. So that was a different change. I liked litigating, but then when my family grew, it was a little more difficult. So this was just actually something I hadn't thought about, but when the opportunity presented itself, I thought, I'm up for a new challenge, and I feel like I have been.
¿Y cuando empezaste tu educación, dónde pensaste que estarías?
Yo pensaba que iba a ser abogada, siempre quería ser abogada. Directora ejecutiva no era algo que yo había pensado, pero cuando tuve mis hijos era difícil tener una carrera donde estaba en la corte todo el tiempo, y se presentó esa oportunidad hace unos años y pensé, ¿por qué no vamos a intentarlo? Y me ha gustado bastante.
So what are some resources? This last question is for me, but I want to, before I go into what the library offers, show your website for community legal services. So I'm going to share my screen here. Let's see if I can do it. So this is the website, and just tell us a little bit about what's on here, Jessica.
Sure. So who we are, it goes through all of our staff and our volunteers, and our board members, and our funders. So we receive funding from Maryland Legal Services Corporation. We receive funding from the state of Maryland, from the Prince George's County, and then a few of the additional things where we receive funding.
Wow.
And then different organizations we partner with throughout the state. We are predominantly in Prince George's County. Sometimes we assist clients outside of who live outside of Prince George's County but have a case in Prince George's County.
You want to say it in Spanish, Giovanna?
Yes. Déjame ver. Oh, no, ¿nos puede hablar sobre su página de web de Community Legal Services del Condado de Prince George's?
Sí, la página habla sobre las personas que trabajan con nosotros, las personas que son voluntarias y las personas y las organizaciones que nos dan dinero para poder tener estos servicios para el condado y los tipos de casos que asistimos. Y en la página de web también tenemos para las personas que necesitan ayuda, pueden someter una aplicación para que nosotros no hablemos con ellos para poder ver si es algún tipo de caso que podemos asistir.
Y dijiste algo sobre una persona que vive fuera del condado de Prince George's.
Si tienen un caso en el condado de Prince George's County, pero viven en otro condado, a veces los podemos asistir.
Ah, qué bien.
So I see on here what you do or how it works.
Right. So we have different programs. So the lawyer referral program matches low-income residents that qualify for our services with free pro bono attorneys. The Domestic Violence Legal Wellness Program provides services to survivors of domestic violence, which includes representation for protective orders, family law cases, and that's through one of our staff attorneys or one of our volunteers. Our foreclosure prevention project assists homeowners and also tenants in foreclosure with representation at mediations or different cases that may appear. The failure to pay rent tenant representation program helps tenants in failure to pay rent cases. We provide pre-COVID same-day representations. If a tenant came to court for their hearing and qualified financially for our services, our attorney or our volunteers would represent them that same day. And then Family Law Clinic, Latino Legal Access Clinic, Workers' Rights Clinic, and Suitland Law Clinic are same-day brief advice clinics where clients can receive assistance for self-representation.
Y en esta página es cómo trabaja o cómo sirve el CLS PG. ¿Qué tenemos de información en esta página?
Ok, so tenemos acá los diferentes programas que nosotros tenemos. Tenemos la referencia para abogados, que es donde tenemos las personas de bajos ingresos. Le damos un abogado de gratis si es que califican y es un tipo de caso que podemos tomar. Tenemos el programa de violencia doméstica donde pueden recibir representación en el caso de una orden de protección y divorcio y diferentes otros casos familiares. Tenemos foreclosure prevention, que es para las personas que están atrasadas en la hipoteca y necesitan asistencia. Sorry, hold on one second.
Okay.
El programa de representación para los inquilinos. Tenemos el programa familiar. El Latino Legal Access es un programa para las personas que hablan español y necesitan asistencia en casos civiles. Y es para representación y a veces para consejo breve legal.
So when you say income requirements, how much money, how much income does a person have to qualify?
So it's whether or not they make too much money. So in order to qualify for brief advice clinics, we don't have any income restrictions, but for representation, they have to qualify based on the Maryland Legal Services Corporation funding, which it should be on one of our pages. It's on the Do I Qualify has the program, see, Maryland Legal Services Corporation guidelines, and that's for income screening.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, ¿cómo una persona puede calificar por este programa?
Para nuestras clínicas de consejo legal breve no hay ninguna calificación, solamente tiene que ser un tipo de ley que nosotros podemos aconsejar. Pero las personas que necesitan representación tienen que calificar bajo de los ingresos por la organización que nos da el dinero. Y acá ven dónde está la información. Por una persona tienen que ganar menos de $30,211 al año.
Oh, it also goes on family size too.
Correct. It's by family size and income level.
Okay. Okay. So our viewers, they can just go to your website and all the information is there.
Right. Or they can just go on our online application
Okay.
and they can do an online application, and then our legal assistants will reach out to them to get more information. See where it says apply for services?
Okay. Okay.
And that's if you're a Spanish speaker, you see where it says on the upper right-hand corner, select language, it'll translate it into a different language to make it easier for the person to do the application.
Okay.
And then usually within a day or so, right now with COVID, it's taking a little bit longer because as you can imagine, our phones are pretty busy. Our legal assistants will contact them, figure out either our legal assistants or one of our staff attorneys will contact them to figure out what kind of assistance they need and whether or not it's a case that would qualify for representation, because it has to be a type of case that we take within our parameters. So we don't take criminal cases. We don't take a personal injury case where you've been injured and you're suing for money damages. We will take some family law cases. Sometimes, depending on our availability, we're limited in with, whether or not a volunteer attorney is willing to take the case is some of the limitation. But usually pretty straightforward divorce cases are easy to place, and if they qualify financially, it's something that we're able to do.
¿Qué tipo de casos ustedes pueden aceptar si califican las personas que hacen este forma o esta aplicación?
So, aceptamos los casos de órdenes de protección, casos de familiares, dependiendo. A veces hay algunos casos que no podemos tomar. No tomamos casos criminales o si alguien tuvo un accidente de carro, pero sí por casos de estar atrasado con la hipoteca, a veces de inquilino y arrendador podemos tomar por el inquilino, no el arrendador. Y dependiendo en el tipo de caso civil, y ahí en la aplicación hay varios casos que sí podemos asistir y otros que desafortunadamente no califican bajo nuestras restricciones.
So I see there's other languages here for the application. Do you have other people on staff that speak other languages that speak some of these languages listed here?
We have a French and Italian speaker. One of our attorneys speaks 3 languages. But for the non-Spanish, usually we use a language line, which is an interpreter over the phone to assist.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I see you have the volunteer opportunities here. So is this just for adults, or can students get involved with volunteering, or is it just attorneys?
So for right now, especially during COVID, it would be limited to attorneys. Hopefully we will have our Law Links program this summer. Last summer was the first time it was actually canceled. And we'd worked with another organization in the past to have high school students volunteering for us. Ideally, if we're able to have staff in the office soon, we will have opportunities for volunteers.
Awesome.
¿Quién puede voluntariar para su compañía?
Por ahora, por el COVID, tenemos las restricciones que no tenemos personas en la oficina, so es limitado a abogados. Pero queremos tener personas en la oficina este verano, y si tenemos la oportunidad sería por el programa Law Links, y hay otras oportunidades que hemos usado en el pasado para los estudiantes.
And then I see you have people can donate if they wish to contribute to support your organization.
Correct. And it goes through the different types of donations. I think it goes through PayPal. We also accept donations on Facebook. And, you know, if you shop a lot on Amazon, you can also use the Amazon Smile.
Oh, okay.
¿Y cómo puede donar una persona a esta organización?
Por la página electrónica de nosotros, también por Facebook tenemos una oportunidad y eso usa PayPal para poder hacer las donaciones, o si compran varias cosas en Amazon pueden escoger nuestra organización para poder hacer las donaciones.
Your website is fabulous. You have a lot
Oh,
of information.
Yes, very.
thank you. We just
detailed.
updated it a couple years ago.
Wow, that's awesome. And then becoming a partner, what is that?
It's for somebody that has is generous and is able to give on a regular basis. So there's some we have a couple partners that'll give a certain amount a month just as a sustaining kind of thing.
Wow.
And it through PayPal, it automatically it's a recurring charge, and you know, whenever they don't want to do it anymore, they can just let PayPal know and it'll stop charging.
Okay.
¿Y cómo una persona puede hacer un partner de esta página?
Pueden hacer una donación una vez al mes, una vez al año, por diferentes tipos de valor. Sería una manera.
Wow. Okay, I see you have a monthly newsletter too here.
Correct. So that usually is our, it usually goes in our Prince George's County Prince George's County Bar Association. And because of COVID, we need to update it. So we'll be updating it within the next couple of weeks. We do a monthly newsletter on, you know, success stories, different opportunities for volunteers.
Y vemos aquí que tienes un papel o papeleo de cada mes donde tienes información para para clientes, ¿verdad?
Correcto. Es una oportunidad para ver cuáles tipos de casos tenemos, las oportunidades para los abogados, también diferentes casos que hemos ganado, información para los clientes.
And there's press releases. Do you get a lot of press for your organization?
Not in the past, but in the last few months during COVID, we've done a lot of programs similar to this on Zoom. I've spoken at 6 of the Attorney General's COVID task force Zoom calls. We've been interviewed a couple times for different local media, some articles in the paper. We've provided monthly, not monthly, but different programs with CASA of Maryland and Dementia Friendly, and council member Monique Anderson Walker's office regarding information about landlord tenant and foreclosure, especially during COVID.
Y aquí veo que tienes información de prensa.
So, de vez en cuando tenemos programas donde hablamos, desde COVID hemos hablado en más o menos 6 programas del abogado general de Maryland que tiene un grupo de trabajo por COVID-19. También hemos trabajado con Casa of Maryland y Dementia Friendly en programas sobre inquilino y arrendador, especialmente los derechos durante el tiempo de COVID.
Is there anything else you want our viewers to know about your website?
No, if they have any information, it usually mirrors what's on our Facebook account. We've been trying to really keep up with COVID information, different organizations that are providing food, rental assistance. We try to update it. There's a special COVID-19 resource page, and trying to tell members to, if you have questions or you need assistance, you know, these are some good starting points. And then, you know, reaching out to different county council members when they need additional assistance. The last couple of months, there's been rental assistance throughout the county for tenants, and just really making sure they get the information out there. They reach out to organizations early, especially during these trying times.
Y dijiste que tienes un Facebook, ¿verdad? De su compañía. ¿Qué tipo de recursos tienes sobre esta pandemia y cómo le puede ayudar a la gente con la información?
So, nuestro Facebook tiene información donde tienen comida, distribuciones de comida, donde hay dinero para asistencia rental y otras diferentes organizaciones que tienen información. También tratamos de sacar la información sobre dónde van a tener distribuciones de comida y cuándo.
So viewers, if you would like to visit Community Legal Services website, you can just go to clspgc.org, and all of the information will be on their website, as well as their contact information and application. So hopefully some people will take advantage of that resource. So thank you for that, Jessica. And
You're
then
welcome.
that question is for me. What are some resources that the library offers people who are new to the job market? Maybe they're changing careers or looking for new work due to COVID-19. You want to say it in Spanish, Giovanna?
Oh, sure. ¿Qué tipo de recursos tiene la biblioteca que ayuda a las personas que acaban de entrar en el mundo del trabajo, quien quiere cambiar de oficio o están buscando un nuevo oficio debido a la pandemia de COVID-19?
So you can go to our website at pgcmls.info. You can visit our online library, and then there's a jobs and careers section on there where you can access different things such as information to help you write your resume. There's a job coach there that's live who can help you with any resume or interview questions you may have. And there's so much more. So hopefully you will visit us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at pgcmls.info.
Nuestra página de web es pgcmls.info. Tenemos información en inglés y en español. En la página de web de arriba dice su biblioteca, y esa página convierte toda la página de inglés hasta español. También tenemos bastantes recursos para las personas que quieren cambiar de oficio o quieren buscar trabajo. Ahí tenemos información cómo hacer su currículum vitae o su hoja de vida, y tenemos bastantes recursos que son gratis si tienes una tarjeta de la biblioteca. También puedes tener acceso a una tarjeta que es gratis en nuestra página, otra vez pgcmls.info.
Thank you. So this was a pleasure, Jessica. Enjoyed you so much, learned so much about your organization and your career as an attorney and as an executive director. So thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for including me. This was really fun. A little different on Zoom, but really interesting, and I learned a lot about the library. Thank you.
You're welcome.
No problem. Thank you. Muchas gracias.
Gracias a todos.
And I'm Shannon Crooks. Again, thank you for joining us. Join us each and every Wednesday at 3 p.m. as we explore a new and exciting career, or possibly an organization with a resource that can help you with your career journey. Thanks, Giovanna, for translating. Thanks again, Jessica, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.